Hello YouTube, I'm the Temple Gamer and welcome to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4. I've been waiting a long time to play this LP. I was playing this before. I played this game, do an LP on it. So as you guys know from the title, we will be playing as Australia. There is one thing I'd like to mention though. I have a few mods installed, some of them are just like some historic flag markers. So quick disclaimer, there's a swastika now in this game because I had the realistic flag mod because it was there. So I just kept that in. Also, some of the other flags are a little nicer now. So that's like cool. So we have that. Anyway, so yeah, we'll be playing as Australia. I also have there is one other mod that I'd like to mention. It's called the Commonwealth Flavor Mod, and it basically makes it so all of the Commonwealth nations, so Canada, I don't know if the British Raj has it, but like Canada, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, they all have like the British skins for vehicles, and they changed all the names and stuff. So instead of having, like Mark 1 fighter or Mark 2 fighter, it's the British ones. And also changes the Australian tanks and stuff in I think the Canadian tanks, so, or fighters or whatever, to make them have proper names. So that's cool. So yeah, we're gonna jump in. I'm gonna do historic AI focuses, Iron Man mode, regular. We'll do Australian LP. Taking a while. There we go. Anyways, so basically I'll give you guys a little bit of history really quick on Papua New Guinea, which is how I'm pretty sure you pronounce it. But basically, Australia owned the southern, or maybe it's the western part of this place, I forget, of Papua New Guinea, before it fell under their control at that period of time, or for a while, and then I think it was like 1920 or something, during the peace conference after World War One, they were given German Papua New Guinea, and they got the rest of it. And during independence, they were given the rest of it, and Papua New Guinea didn't gain independence like 1975. So at this point, it's still under Australian control. Also, I am going to be staying with the Allies. So if you guys were expecting me to be like a fascist, like going after all these Pacific islands, I will not. I can go after them later, when we fight Japan and stuff. But until then, we will just be preparing for war, which might be a little bit boring, so I apologize, but we are going to try our best to make it interesting. We have this feller as our guy, John Curtin. Here are all of our troops. Let's add them into an army really quick. Some decent generals. I should be able to do something up here. I don't really know how. I installed a mod to change the image. Here we go. Adds more like images and stuff for your divisions, which is pretty cool. We'll keep it as the shield for now, though, because this is going to be a defense force. We don't really need to do much for them right now. I will have them go over here and garrison some of our islands and stuff, though. We have a fair amount of islands. I guess they will also garrison, like, the coast. Should have them garrison that for now, so they can get to that. Really, we do not have a lot of units, not a lot of troops. Don't have a lot of recruitable population either, and that's not going to change anytime soon. We can get limited conscription. We can't get extensive conscription. We want to see if we can't get out of... Okay, we can't get out of any... We have to stay in civilian economy, which blows. We have a couple national focuses. I think we should do our research first. So look, we have all these skins and stuff, which is really cool. Skins, yeah, I feel like an idiot, but Our stuff does look nice. It's not just silhouettes. That's really cool. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this. So we currently, I don't know, do we have the industrial capacity at the moment to actually produce a large amount of tanks? I don't think tanks are going to be extremely important for us, unfortunately, because, I mean, the hope is that we're going to be fighting a naval war instead of a land war. Because if we're fighting a land war, that means they made it to Australia, or onto Australia, and that's not the goal. Okay, so we have steel, which is really important. No oil from looks. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, no oil. That's unfortunate. There's tons of rubber up here. Really, we don't get any rubber on. Damn it. Okay, but steel and chromium. I mean, I'm just happy we have steel. I was going to actually do a Let's Play playing as Tibet, and I did all right. But unfortunately, just the lack of natural resources was just too much. So I'm glad we have at least some steel, which is good. We need to mess with our airways. That's Navy. Or air wings, I mean. How do I do this again? Really, wait, this is all we have? Oh god, it's gonna be. We got a lot of preparation to do. Maybe it's good we're not not pulling out the big guns right now. Okay, so we don't need that right now. We should really just be doing this stuff. Let's do construction and this. Free military factories. What's our division layout? We have no support, anything. We'll have to fix that. We don't have any. We're not producing any tanks at the moment. I feel like we should at least produce some tanks. It's not like cavalry. I've never played a game as Australia before. I wanted to do just play a little bit just to get ready for this LP. But I'm just so excited to do it that I didn't, so I apologize. Possibly we can actually use like the Philippines as a jumping off point. I don't know if the United States will jump in at that point, but they are a puppet to the U.S. Okay, well, obviously we're going to need a pretty badass navy. What's our navy situation at the moment? Oh wow. Oh god, heavy cruisers. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna use... we can make some carriers, apparently. That's good. Quick tip, if you guys are playing this game for your first time, highly, highly recommend... Let's move this navy up, first of all. Just really quick. It's Naval Base 1. Jesus, we have bad naval bases. Holy shit, anything... Okay, there we go. 3. If you have any sort of, if you're not used to this game at all, and you haven't played it, highly suggest playing Italy. Italy's an awesome, just like all around, really, really good to play. So I don't think we're going to be introducing a lot of infantry equipment right now. You can stock it up before the war, which is really, really important. But I think we should just be trying to build up, like, our navy and, like, planes. I think it's going to be really important for us. So we have a couple destroyers, some light cruisers, some heavy cruisers. I want more powerful ships. Do we have any sort of... we don't have battle cruisers researched yet. Battleships is what I really, really want. So the thing with battleships is that they're just kick-ass. Okay, but unfortunately we can't get them. We can get at least some heavy cruisers, I guess. How long would it take us? Okay, so at the moment we're producing... Okay, we don't have the resources right now, so this is actually wrong. Oh, maybe it's not. It's going to be a long time to finish a heavy cruiser. You should be building right here. I'm glad we can actually deploy stuff over here. Free military factories. We could try to upgrade our troops with tanks. I don't think we're going to do that yet, though. Towed artillery, we are going to need this. Artillery is going to be a big thing. Support equipment is going to be a big thing. We're going to need to hire an advisor. Do we have an advisor that we can hire to give us daily... what is it? We have a genius. Holy crap, that's great. Oh, we have 2 geniuses. That's great. Where's the person that we can get that gives us just daily, like... army, what do you call it? Army tradition or whatever. Am I stupid? He's gotta be here somewhere. Because we need that. Or unless we're just gonna have to exercise our troops forever, which is kind of a pain in the ass. It looks like we're just gonna need to do that. Am I stupid? Can I just not find him? Yeah, I think so. We might want to get this guy first just to maximize the amount of political power we can get. So I guess we'll get that first, then we can deal with everything else later. Yeah, let's just deal with that for now. Okay, we need planes. We need tons of planes. Do we want to produce carrier fighters instead? That's what I'm going to be doing. The things with carrier fighters is that they can be used like normal fighters, but they just take longer to produce. But they can still be used either one. So we'll do carrier naval bombers, because we are going to have to build carriers, I guess. Interwar bombers, close air support. God, we need all of these. God, we just don't have the amount of troops that we need. Okay. Amount of factories. Okay, let's see here. Again, we want to upgrade our vehicles at some point. We're definitely going to be creating light tanks. I don't think we have. We probably don't even have enough resources to really create tanks effectively, but definitely not heavy tanks. Heavy tanks take too many resources, like all of that for a heavy, and then it's, you know, basically half of that for a light. So we'll try to research these soon and then change our cavalry from cavalry. I'm not joking, they still have horses at this point. Poor Poland. To tanks. Because the thing is that we're going to want these tanks when we finally land on an island. We're going to be doing a lot of island hopping, unfortunately, as Australia. So tanks are going to be there aren't going to be a huge, what do you call it? Like, what is it? I don't know what the word. Priority. There we go. They're not going to be a big priority for us starting off. We're just going to be, we'll be using them later down the line, but I would like to at least getting a few stocked up. Civilian factories. We need to be building more civilian factories because we lack natural resources. Unfortunately, we also lack like building territory. We can't build a crap load of stuff. Build some stuff there. Build something there. Like, we really don't have a lot of places that we can build stuff. I'll build a few things just really quick, and we'll kind of deal with it as we go. Play it by ear. I can do this for some army experience. As a small nation, I pretty much always do industrial effort. I think I'm going to quickly do naval effort because that gives us a bunch of naval dockyards, which is great, just straight off the bat. Gives us a bunch of naval experience. After that, I might just end up doing industrial effort and just trying to get us some of this stuff. I mean, unfortunately, like, we're Australia, so we're sort of a big nation. We just don't have a lot of people. So, territorial-wise, though, we're pretty large. Yeah, I think we're just going to do naval effort really quick. I think we want to join the Allies immediately. If we're not... Oh, okay, we are. We are in the Allies. Build planes in reserve. We're just going to move all of our planes over here. We can actually... This is a pretty large air base. That's kind of cool. This is going to be extremely important, so I'm glad it's big. We have another one right here. Bismarck. Wow. Is that because this used to be owned by Germany? I would assume so. Yeah, we need to make sure... We need to exercise our troops. I'm just going to have them exercise so we can get up enough army experience to... I also have colored buttons, in case you didn't notice. Really, I just like it a lot. Because we're going to need to get support artillery. Probably an engineering company. These are pretty freaking big divisions. That's awesome. We won't be training a lot of divisions at the moment. Low manpower, of course. Okay, let's start getting some resources. We want to import from our allies. Okay. Looks like everything. Unfortunately, that is going to get rid of half of our factories that we'll be using. I would love New Zealand's land. But whatever, it's fine. We can take Japan's islands. Is that all of our opening moves? Yeah, I think so. Let's get to it. Speed up the game. I apologize for the volume, by the way. I'm going to record this episode and then play it back and listen to it just to see if the audio is okay. I have a feeling it might be too low, but sometimes I talk very quietly and I lean back and get away from the mic. I don't know if you guys want this on, the night and day cycle. I kind of like it. This is kind of cool. This is something that I see very, very, very few YouTubers and streamers have on. Allied battle plans. This is probably the most useful button that I cannot believe is not on by default. There's a lot of things that I think is stupid that that isn't default. For instance, no retreat. I don't know why the fuck this isn't a option. I'd like my planes to come home and repair or whatever before they die. So I don't know why the hell that isn't default. There's a lot of just weird default things. But that's one of the weirdest ones, and this not being on is super weird to me. Because being able to just be like, hey, London, what are your potential plans, or when France joins the Allies, just seeing France just yeah, I'm holding, the German and Italian border. Just all this stuff. We have historic AI focuses on, so we're not going to see a crazy, weird campaign, but I think it'll still be fun. I really, really want to play as Australia or Tibet in this game because, mostly Australia actually. Tibet was just sort of Tibet must be fun to play, and it wasn't. But I'm American, so in the U.S. I live in California. At least in Californian schools, we actually, contrary to popular belief, I've heard some European YouTubers sort of talk about how bad American schooling is. I'm not going to say anything about that, but I have heard. So it's weird because I've heard some European YouTubers say oh, it's almost like they have went to school here or something, which is weird. In the U.S., I mean. Because they're always oh, it's always about, America, and they're always talking about America. And that is true in some things, but when referring to World War II, we talk, at least in California, we talk so freaking much about just Europe and just all the European countries doing stuff, and even throughout the war. We talk about what America does a lot, but every once in a while I'm like, can we talk about America and stop talking about fucking France and Africa? But we never talked really much about Australia. Because, YouTube comments are cancer by, reading them every once in a while on other people's videos. And some guy did, a, history on World War II in 7 minutes. And a bunch of guys were getting all upset because no one mentioned Australia. I was like, now I think about it, I've never even heard of Australia doing anything in World War II. But, of course they did. But yeah, so that's just something weird. That is, although, to be fair, that is something that's rarely talked about in the U.S. We talk a little bit about Canada's involvement, but very little about the other allies, even the other Axis members. So, yeah. I don't really understand the whole British Raj. I don't know anything about the political institutions of in India. I know there's a lot of principalities and stuff, where local princes rule, and they just sort of say, yeah, I submit to British hegemony or whatever it's called. But I don't like it how the British Raj is its own nation, not connected to Great Britain, but then France still gets Indochina. That's what their colony's called, by the way. The British Raj has a fair bit of natural resources. And so does Indochina, but France gets Indochina while the British Raj is just its own fucking thing. Which has led to some pretty weird things late game. I've only played this game. I played the game a bunch of times. This is, probably at least a dozen playthroughs. but I've never gone crazy far in them because something will fuck up, or I'll just be like, yeah, this is sort of like the end for me. It's like, it's just not going to be fun anymore. But I played as Italy once and made my own faction. I played, up to like 1950 or something. Some crazy stuff started happening. Like the British Raj became a great power. And like, Japan capitulated. US took over all of China. And then for some reason submitted to demands of like the British Raj, or maybe it was the UK and France, to just give them like half of China. It was pretty weird, but yeah, like some pretty weird stuff can go on with the British Raj. It almost seems like unfair, at least to me, to be like, why can't the UK just have that? Because they got fucking all this other stuff. Just give them, like, that's part of the British Empire. To me, that would be like, yeah, Soviet Union, like half your country just is a different country now, or the United States, Alaska is its own thing now. I don't know. I'm sure there's something that I'm just totally getting wrong. I'm hoping that there is. There's just a perfectly like reasonable explanation for that, but to me it just seems weird. Yeah, so we're still waiting on army experiences from our training. These guys will get up to regulars, which will be nice, but it's not the most important thing in the world. I am really worried on because I don't think we're not very high on the priorities list of Japan, and also, even though it's on historical AI focuses, this game is very, very not historical in a lot of stuff that happens. I mean, I've seen Japan take over China maybe twice in the over a dozen playthroughs I've played. I mean, it doesn't take long for you to just be like, yeah, Japan's probably not going to beat China. So, even though I haven't played through the entire game, I've gotten to the point in almost all of them where I'm just like, yeah, it's pretty safe to say that Japan only owning like Korea is not going to be able to beat off the rest of the allies and still take over China. And then nationalist Spain, I've only seen win I think 4 times. I've probably gone through the Spanish Civil War 14 times, and I've only seen nationalist Spain win 4 times. And one of them was me doing it. I played as Spain, and it's not hard. I mean, I finished the Civil War really, really fast. I don't know if I just had an easy Civil War or something, but it's pretty freaking easy to just win the Civil War as a player. I've actually seen Poland survive a long time when I didn't do historical AI focuses. Poland became communist and made its own faction with all the Baltic states, sorry. So that's pretty cool. Some pretty crazy stuff can happen when you do ahistorical AI focuses, but when you do historical, it still gets a little crazy because it just doesn't turn out right. Also, Germany sucks. Basically, all the Axis powers just blow in this game. So I'm hoping that we will have an interesting game. But it is a little disappointing when Japan is half dead by the time you go to war with them. Or when Germany is conquered by France, which I've seen happen on more than one occasion. I remember by the time the US joined the war, which is supposed to be, when stuff starts really heating up, like, oh my god, like there's this new massive power, in the war, like this is going to shake things up. Like another major power has joined the war. Or, when the Soviet Union attacks, like by the time that's happened in a lot of my games, France has already eaten like into Germany this much, and then eaten into, just taking all of like northern Italy. It gets pretty silly. Because France has got so much going against it right now. Like they got all this like political turmoil with communists in their nation. They have events, they have decisions to change that, but like they also are the only major power to only have 3 research slots. Like we have 2, but all the other major powers have 4. But yeah, so France is the only one to start off with 3. By the way, Italy starts off in a war against Ethiopia. And for some reason, ending the war in Ethiopia actually reduces world tension. So if I were the player, I would definitely go and we're going to do industrial effort next. If anything, to just get up the industry research time. I might even do after that. I might even do like army effort. No, not army effort because that's just doctrines. But like sort of whatever. we're going to do heavy cruisers. I'm going to have just a little thing for convoys, just so we can do some convoys. That's all of them, yeah. What else? But yeah, all the other nations start off pretty well compared to France. Besides France having, tons of Africa. You know what? Now looking at Africa, France's territory in Africa gives them pretty much jack shit, but a bunch of just desert to cover. Because in Britain, not so much in northern Africa, because it's really just desert. But they get like the Suez Canal, which is pretty great. They have some rubber down here. They have some pretty decent stuff. The Chromanian is awesome. Oh, France's Madagascar. I totally forgot about that. That has nothing on it. I'm in the resource map mode, by the way. Lots of oil in the Middle East. This is something I love grabbing when I am an AI. Or sorry, not an AI. Sorry, like a fascist country. It does get a little ballsy if the common derp ever declares on you, but if they don't, it's really nice having all that oil, so you don't need to import it or just worry about it. Of course, though, you also have to defend a lot of overseas provinces. Maybe that's the reason why the British Raj is a thing, its own thing, so it can just defend its borders better. Maybe the AI is just not good at that. That still seems weird to me, I don't know. I also don't know the history behind China just being all split up like this. I mean, I understand there's, these two guys hate each other. Like, I'm not very good with the whole, just this whole situation. I don't understand it very well. But, maybe that's something I'll read up on in my own time and maybe tell you guys about. The Netherlands is going to be a big issue because they're going to capitulate almost instantly when Germany declares on them. Germany's at least not as big of an idiot as to, not beat, Poland and the Netherlands and Belgium mainland. But, the Netherlands will then be moved to Indonesia, which even though is a lot of their land territory, it's not developed at all. It's pretty much just it's like, for instance, Ethiopia is like a decently large country, I guess. Actually, it's just one state, but it's got 10 million people there. Ethiopia's like, wow, that might be kind of hard to beat. But Italy just wipes the floor with them with just a couple of troops. The Netherlands is even worse in Africa. Or sorry, in Asia. Like, their Asian holdings just have nothing on them. It's just it's just easy to take over. Which is why I'm thinking, because I still kind of want to keep the Netherlands around, at least for now. Because as an ally, which is sort of lame, as far as I understand, as you take back territory that belongs to your old... Oh, well, no, never mind, I know this for sure. In any faction, actually, when you take back territory that belongs to an old faction member that has been destroyed, for instance, let's say you're part of the Axis, let's say you're Germany and Italy has capitulated or something, or what's kind of like a low-key Axis member, like Hungary. Like, Hungary has been taken over by the Soviet Union. If you turn around and conquer all of Hungary's old territory, it'll revert back to Hungary, and Hungary will essentially be reborn. It's an okay way of saying it, I guess. So, unfortunately, when you're a fascist and you're doing a lot of the war declarations, if I was Japan, I'd be rolling over through here, and every gain I take, every province I take over, is a province that goes to me and is given to myself and makes me stronger. But as an ally, as Australia, who's essentially fighting a defensive war, when I'm liberating, or when I'm conquering the old Netherlands territory of Indonesia, or colonies or whatever, I'm not conquering it, I'm liberating it. So even if we take over the rest, if this island gets taken over and we come in and swoop it up, hoping for, let's see, there's any resources on this island? No. Let's say we invade, this down here and we want some rubber or something. We don't get that. It's given back to the Netherlands, which is, it makes perfect sense. I'm not saying they should change that, but, it makes absolutely perfect sense. But that's just something you got to keep in mind, that it's hard to explain, but when since playing as a fascist in this game is just more fun, I'm not gonna, it's just way more fun playing as a fascist in this game. looks weird to me. I don't know why. But when you're doing, when you're playing as like a fascist in this game. Whoa. Okay, Spanish Civil War popped off. Let's see if the Nationalists can actually win. They won't. Republicans will win. I can damn near bet you money. These trade lanes and stuff. But yeah, it's like when you're playing as a fascist, though, every unit you lose trying to take, every little unit or like manpower you lose trying to go take over territory it's essentially like a give and take thing. You give 100 manpower for a province or something, and that will be added to you, and you will not have that province. But when you're an ally, I lose 100. Let's say this entire island we're taking, like the Netherlands over here. Let's say that takes me like 10,000 manpower. So let's be generous, or sorry, not generous. I'm positive about it, optimistic about it. So it takes 10,000 manpower. We're just giving that back to the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, we're not going to be able to. Us personally, we're probably not going to be taking back a lot of their mainland territory. We'll be taking back their colonies. And even if we give back all their colonies, they're probably not going to be able to help us later on. I mean, that's why, for instance, you can puppet certain nations. Or, I don't know exactly how it works in this game, but essentially, if you can, like, take over a nation or save a nation or something before they lose all their soldiers, that's really good. Because if the Netherlands gets completely conquered and then we come over and save all of their African holdings, they're still not going to be able to help us for 99% of the rest of the war. Because they won't be able to build up the infantry equipment. We'll have to, like, send them equipment and stuff. We really, really want them to help. They're going to have to, like, build up the manpower, do the infantry equipment, train the divisions, and then send them all out. And by the time they've done all that and are able to field, a half-decent military, we'll already have dealt with a lot of the issues. So we're going to add support artillery now, which is going to now make us have to use towed artillery, and I don't think we actually need to use support artillery or support equipment at the moment, but we will when we add engineering companies. I don't know if I want to do recon companies right now, actually. I might do recon companies for the infantry, and then I might do engineering for what is going to eventually become the light tank. Not sure, but I am going to end the episode there. I hope you guys have all enjoyed. If you guys have, check out the next video. I will be sort of pondering what to do next. Maybe just put some plans ahead. But yeah, so we'll do that then. Bye, guys.